Hey there, are you ready for our next riveting experience? Well, buckle up. The fun and excitement is about to begin. Hi guys, this is a beautiful day out on Lake Sammamish. Big surprise, I'm on Lake Sammamish. Today I want to talk a little bit about Live Scope. Now, I went out and bought a Live Scope. Not because of all the hype where people said it's like catching fish in a barrel, or you're not going to be competitive if you don't have one. No, it's not why I bought it. I bought it because I am one curious SOB. I want to know what's down there. I like to look at stuff. I like to learn. And there is nothing better than forward-facing sonar to give you a picture into the underwater aquatic world. And I got to tell you, I've learned an awful lot already. So in Lake Sammamish, you generally don't see a lot of fish shallow during the winter. I don't know exactly why that is. I imagine has a lot to do with a lot of factors. Oh my gosh, I can talk. And okay, let's make a point here. So those factors are likely water temperature, forage, predation, all of the things that cause fish to change their location. It's a factor of all those things. And what we're seeing typically in the wintertime, between November and early March, is you'll see a lot of fish really deep. You can catch perch at 95 feet, and if they're down there, you can bet that they're feeding on something and something's feeding on them. And the largest portion of the biomass that you see on down sonar is in that depth between 35 feet and 95 feet. That's just how deep this lake is, 100 and something feet. But that's where you see those fish. There's a large portion of the biomass is down there at those depths. So by leveraging Live Scope, you can see all this in real time, right? You can start hitting some great cover like docks and brush piles and wood all along the banks, and you will see very little biomass during this cold winter periods. There is literally nothing alive in those areas, or very little. So you could spend an awful lot of time fishing an area based on what you hear from people on the internet, that there's always fish shallow, that there's always resident fish that will stay in those shallows. And that simply isn't true on every body of water. So having a Live Scope really allows you to confirm whether or not where you're fishing is going to be productive. Okay, so in this clip here, I have seen some fish swimming around, and they're trout. They move really fast on a Live Scope. So trying to get in front of a trout while you're live scoping is a challenge. And so I'm sitting here staring at the screen, trying to cast in front of trout, and I've been at this for about 20 minutes. I can't catch one of these damn fish. And so my friend comes up behind me and he starts asking me some questions. Now, I'm not paying any attention to the Live Scope anymore, and you'll see what happens here. So watch this. So yeah, I caught a really nice trout there, and I wasn't paying any attention to the Live Scope, obviously, when that fish took my bait. So my point here is you can spend an awful lot of time playing video game fishing, but in a lot of cases, you'd be a lot better off just getting your line in the water and fishing, whether you see fish or not, right? Because fish move around quite a bit, and whether you see it on the Live Scope or not, you probably should be fishing. Okay, this leads me to a cautionary tale. You just spent $2,000 for this Live Scope, and it is a really cool tool. It's a fun toy, and the first thing that you're going to want to do is get out there on the water and mess with it. Um, Now, if your ultimate goal is to catch fish, this will be very counterproductive for you because you will spend a lot of time staring at that silly little screen and not getting your line wet. So, as a warning, when you first get Live Scope, you need to expect that it's going to distract you quite a bit and keep you from catching fish. Be aware of that. Pay attention to it and try to get your line wet as quickly as you can because it is supposed to be a tool to help you catch fish. As a person who trolls a lot, I also have come up with another use for my Live Scope. And here's a little clip that sort of demonstrates what I'm talking about.
Okay, let's see if we can get a little idea here about how deep our lures are running. So if you look on the screen here, there are two little dots right there. I don't want to pause it. And you can see what my speed is, 175. Those two little dots right there, that's my lure while I'm trolling. So I can use Live Scope to determine how deep a particular lure runs with and without a weight attached and with different weight lines. So I do use a downrigger. You know, there's a downrigger on my boat. And if I'm trying to target fish that are 30, 40 feet down, the best way to do that is with a downrigger. Well, I shouldn't say best, because a lot of people like lead core line too. You can make that work. But a lot of times you'll see fish at different depths, and you can see on the graph here we don't see any fish. But if you are seeing fish in that 10 to 12 foot range, it'd be nice to know what lure and what weight can I use to get to that depth without having to use a downrigger, because you can deploy your gear a lot quicker if you're not using a downrigger. So I have deployed a diving lure with a 3/4 ounce lead to get me down to a depth where I can pick up fish. And that's just one technique that you can use, and Live Scope can help you determine how deep you're running. So that one right there looks to be running about 7-8 feet. Let me show you what I got back there. And there's two different dots. Let's pull this in here. So you can see I have a I don't know what that is, 1/4, 3/8 ounce weight, and then I have this little lure here, and he's currently foul hooked. But I have that little guy, and he usually runs like 2 or 3 feet without any help with a weight. But with the weight, this guy looks like he's running between 7 and 10 feet, depending on the speed I'm running. Now, that's pointless. I've seen one fish on the graph here, and he was at 40 feet. So, obviously, what I'm doing here is not going to be very effective, but right now I'm just trying to learn what I can do with my Live Scope and what I can do, what kind of value it can add to my fishing experience, besides me gawking at the screen.
Okay, a quick synopsis of what we covered. So we looked at what kind of seasonal changes a lake can go through and how Live Scope can help you identify where your fish are and, more importantly, where they are not. We also covered the cool new toy syndrome, which you need to be aware of. And don't spend all your time looking at the screen. Get your line in the water and try to catch fish. And even if you're not seeing fish on a Live Scope, sometimes they're on the very bottom and you won't see them very well. So in particular, get your line in the water, see if you can catch a fish. My friend outfishes me a lot just because he's fishing and I'm farting around with a screen. Um, what else did we learn? We learned that you can use the live scope to determine how deep your trolling rigs are going and how deep your ball is on your downrigger. It can do a lot of things to help you understand what exactly is going on in the aquatic environment that you're in. It's a great tool. For that, it's all a great tool. But you know where it really, really shines? And I haven't been able to see it yet because I bought it in the middle of winter and it's freezing cold and the fish are all deep. But where it really, really shines is when fish are relatively stationary and they're relating to cover. If you have fish that are doing that, man, you can really target those fish. You can see how they react to specific baits that you toss to them, and you can actually see them taking the bait while on the screen. It's a great tool to help you really understand how fish are interacting with the cover that they're on and the baits that you're throwing. And that's really where it takes off, but we'll see more of that in some of my videos in the future. But for now, this is what I got for you. Thank you very much for stopping by the channel. And oh, by the way, sorry about the lousy resolution on my webcam here. I will get my GoPro out and get it set up to work with the PC in the future, so you don't have to look at this grainy, awful image. But thanks a lot for stopping by the channel. Really appreciate you guys. If you liked any of this stuff, please, of course, like and subscribe and all that yummy stuff. And at the end here, there's going to be a link to some video that, I don't know, I'll probably just tell YouTube, pick one for me. So click on that and enjoy the content. Thank you very much.